You see, the flaws start to arise when we understand the fact that we as a species are always caught up in this human rat race, a race that can never be won by any one of us. A race that starts from the second we are born and goes on till the second we take our last breath. And it is this rat race that then indents in our perceptions of things, that there is nothing out there that we haven't already grasped, which is in no pretense what science tells us. If you do any amount of research, you always understand the fact that science is always contradicting itself in every way, shape, or form. And no matter what science points out today, it is always going to make sure that it proves what it's either pointing at, and if it can't prove what it's pointing at, then it's going to find substantial evidence to prove otherwise. The only thing that is a given with science is the fact that it takes its due time, and there's nothing that can rush that. Our perceptions of things need time for us to contemplate and need time for us to problem solve. But if we just keep our head down and keep believing the fact that nothing out there is what we don't understand, and for our perspective, a 9 to 5 it makes more sense than ever believing the fact that there is something else out there. The possibility of alien life and bodies being found on the earth is something that has been existent since back in the day. People have gone as far as to build tombs for sky people. They used to call them sky people. They would come down from the sky, they would do good for the people of the earth, and they would return back to the sky in their chariots that they came down in. Chariots that spewed ginormous amounts of fire, apparently. And this was way back in the day. In our mythology, being in India, Indian mythology completely dictates the fact that these chariots of the gods were essentially UFOs. That the gods literally launched missiles at each other or high density energy weaponry at each other. All of this just goes to show that no matter what we understand to be true is never going to be true, because enough evidence is never out there. The bottom line being, do you believe that you are not the end all be all, or are you still going to be stubborn about the fact that no, there is not enough proof? Because there really is proof. And if you stay tuned to this space, I will give you more than enough proof for you to then make up your mind. You see, when we look at the scale and the size of the alien bodies that we come across, there's always things that we don't understand in terms of what their anatomy would be like. Our perceptions of aliens is only by the movies that we watch. One alien in a movie that we watch is super highly educated. The other alien movie that we watch, they're bloodthirsty predators. The third alien movie that we watch, they look disgusting and are oversized. The fourth alien movie that we watch, they're sinister. The fifth alien movie that we watch, they're tiny. It's all about understanding the fact that there is a lot of discrepancy when it comes to contemplation. Just like how human beings and human nature and human bodies are different, the same goes for any other kind of body. Same goes for any kind of living being. As a matter of fact, when you look at something as small as shrimp, there is a wide discrepancy in shrimp. There are tiny shrimp and there are ginormous shrimp. If you look at lobsters, they're tiny lobsters and they're huge lobsters. If you look at sharks, they're tiny sharks and then they're huge sharks. This goes with every single thing that's living, including plants, including microbes. So why should an alien race be any different? That is my question to you. What in your contemplation makes you question the fact that no, an alien race is going to be a specific way, shape and form? And if it's not, then it's not an alien race. That's just ridiculous. Those preemptive agendas that we have built into our head because of societal norms are what is exactly forcing us to believe that there is nothing out there. You see, there are certain patterns of contact that we observe when it comes to aliens. Abductions being number one. There's so many people that have witnessed abductions, and even more people that have claimed to be abducted themselves. Yes, a lot of them have been reduced down to them being fake. But then there are those cases wherein the people that have experienced this have no reason to lie whatsoever. What about those people? As a matter of fact, researchers that go above and beyond to do their jobs have also come to the same conclusion, that there are certain people out there that have no reason whatsoever to lie, that have no reason whatsoever to make things up, and yet they are in a place today where no one believes them. No one wants to go out of their way to even give their story a chance, even listen to them, as a matter of fact. And what happens to such people? Experiences that charred their entire existence, that charred their entire livelihood, leaves them as a societal outcast. And this is exactly the kind of attitude that we need to change as a civilization. You see, there is always going to be the unknown factor when it comes to extraterrestrials. Do they actually abduct us? Do they actually mutilate cattle? Do they actually make so-called crop circles? Yes, a lot of crop circles have been debunked by people making them. Yet, a lot haven't been. because a lot of intricate designs just show up overnight. As a matter of fact, there's been video evidence of certain trail cameras literally capturing orbs manifesting out of thin air, making an entire crop circle and then just ceasing to exist. How do we explain that if we don't consider intradimensional travel, if we don't consider cross-dimensional beings? There is a lot out there, and there are more questions than answers, as I've always said. But the one thing that we need to understand is that you should be able to take everything with a grain of salt. You should be able to laugh at yourself. Even if you're doing research into a topic such as this, which is such a fringe topic in today's world, you can't have a serious discussion about aliens with a legitimate educationist, with a scholar, because they just write you off. They scoff at you for everything that you bring up. But they have no answers to your legitimate causes. You see, the internet is always going to try and make a mockery out of everything. And we should be able to laugh at whatever the internet is putting out there as well. Just because you believe that no, this is a topic that cannot have any room for laughter, this is a topic that cannot have any room for taking things lightly, you're wrong. Because as long as you're trying to be that one person who's trying to tell the world that no, you have to be headstrong and you have to be completely into the topic and you have to understand that it's this or it's not, it's make or break, that's never going to be the case. You can never convince 100% of people about a certain topic. And the only way that you can go about it is if you take everything with a grain of salt, as I said. You should be able to laugh at memes about aliens. We should be able to laugh about people trying to debunk alien videos with no logic whatsoever. And that's okay. That's quite frankly, that's alright. Because when there is substantial evidence that we provide you with, when there is substantial evidence that cannot be turned into laughter, when there is substantial evidence that cannot be just scoffed away, you will not be the one who sounds like a crazy person trying to talk about a fringe topic anymore. You see, disclosure is coming. And up until then, I'll see you soon.